Hello, it's the Friday Talkie, and this is kind of weird. As you'll probably be aware, I've got a new camera. It's dead funky and cool and looks great. The weird thing though is, I'm normally sitting looking at the lens. There, you. Now I'm sitting looking there, because I can see myself, and it's disconcerting and weird. Yeah, I've got to try and stop doing that. Right, okay. First thing I have to talk about, and I've got a couple of things to talk about, my response to Ed, EDT1138, yes, who asked the question earlier this week, and I will put a link to his video down there where he asked it, because I tend not to do direct video responses, because I tend to be talking about lots of different things. But anyway, yeah, he asked the question, what are your top 3 favourite pick up and play games? And by that he means, you know, games you pick up, play a bit for I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, put down, and then you can come back to another time and play them again, as opposed to games that you play a bit and then save it and come back and progress from where you left off. Not that, but just literally pick up, play it, leave it, come back another time. My favourites, I didn't actually have to think too hard to answer this, and a lot of you will possibly know my answers anyway. Reverse order. Number 3 would be Defender. I love the arcade game. In the arcade, it's on an arcade cabinet, but it is brutal, because the only joystick control is for up and down, and everything else is buttons, and they're scattered about all over the place, and you've got to have the brain of an octopus to be able to play it well. But on, say, a good arcade conversion for a home console, and I play it mostly on the Xbox, kicks ass. You know, you can control it. You still don't stand much of a chance of playing well and surviving for very long, but it won't be down to overly difficult controls. Yeah, awesome game, love it. It is one, I mean, totally pick up and play. You can't save and come back to it. There's no way. You're lucky if you last 2 minutes. It's brutal, but it's so compelling. So that would be number 3. Number 2, another one that is best in the arcades. But I mean, who can afford an arcade cabinet in their home? Not me, anyway. Battlezone by Atari. I love the control method, the twin sticks, and obviously you can do that with modern consoles. You can have twin sticks. I'm not sure, what have I got it on? I can't remember how many systems. I've got it on loads of different consoles and whatever. I can't remember how many, if any, actually use the twin sticks. PS1 is the one I got most familiar, and with that you used the D-pad on one side and the face buttons on the other, but it didn't seem to matter. It controlled well, and I love it because it's 3D. I mean, it was one of the first 3D games I ever played, and I'm into 3D. I was way into it back then, and it just felt so futuristic, and having that 3D space to drive your tank through, and the whole getting the obstacles between you and the enemy tank, and then that feeling of pure terror when one of those missile things starts coming at you, and you're thinking, I'm gonna die, and the chances are you did. I usually did. They were so hard to avoid. Atari 2600 Battlezone is also really playable. I mean, the game mechanics are quite different because you haven't got the obstacles, but it's still fantastic fun. But yeah, Battlezone, totally my number 2. Number 1, you know the answer to this. It's by Atari again. Star Wars. Words fail me. I can't express how much I love that game. I mean, the Amiga home conversion is quite good. If you want to play an 8-bit, I mean, the the BBC version is alright for an 8-bit, but MAME is the way to go. Mouse control, it's a shame to have to use mouse, But as I've said many times before, there just isn't a home controller that can do it any justice. And even I had a go on a homemade mini arcade cab of the Star Wars arcade cab thingy at Replay last year, and even with a proper-ish controller, it wasn't quite perfect. I don't know if it was more down to MAME actually, because I think it was an original off of a proper cabinet controller, and I think it was MAME that was letting it down. So the controller is fairly critical, but you know, mouse control on MAME is as good as you're gonna get, really, and it is bloody awesome. I love that game. So yeah, that's my number one pick up and play, Star Wars by Atari, not to be confused with Star Wars Arcade by Sega, because that's a completely different thing. Great game, but not the same thing. Okay, and bit of editing there, I had brain fade. Link down there to Ed's video, well worth watching. He does put out some good questions. So if you're not familiar with Ed, EDT1138, go check him out. Now, hang on. I was asked a question this week, and actually apparently about a week ago as well, and I don't know if I missed the question or forgot or something, but anyway, I didn't answer the question. So I'm going to answer his two questions here now. SmoothEmJay, Malk. The first question, which he asked and I didn't answer last time he asked, was, what is your earliest gaming memory? And did that memory turn you into a gamer, or was it a bad experience? Also, what is the worst game you have ever played? My earliest gaming memory it's at a working men's club in a town in Milton Keynes called New Bradwell. There was this electromechanical arcade game, and I can't remember the name of it. I know there was a video clip of it somewhere on YouTube that I can't find it anymore. Basically, you control a missile launcher, and it's a little model. It's a little plastic model. In the bottom, you've got like a diorama at the bottom of your screen, if you like. It's not a screen at all. There's an area at the bottom of your playing area, diorama, and in that diorama you've got a little missile launcher, and there are tanks and soldiers and things all around. And over the top of the playing area you get aeroplanes going over. They're projected onto like a back screen or top screen or something. They're projected. They come over, sort of animated. Remember, this is all mechanical. There are no computers. There's nothing digital about this. So as they go over, you have to time it just right so that when you press a button, you fire a missile up at them. And this is, again, it's like a projected light that goes up. There's got to be like two-way mirrors and stuff involved in this. I don't really remember how it worked. I just remember it being really cool. And if you timed it right, your missile would get to the top of the screen and reach a point on the screen playing area thing that intersected with one of the planes as it was going over. And then there was a projected explosion thing. It was all, I mean, it was really low tech, obviously. It was mechanical, just all gears. I mean, it was noisy, but it was all gears and lights and reflected effects and stuff. And I loved it. And that, for me, was it. I was hooked on gaming from that point onwards. I had played things like one-arm bandits, you know, you stick your 2Ps in, pull the lever, and I found them kind of amusing. But as soon as I played this game, I knew this was the future. And here was me, about 4 years old. But I just, whenever I saw one of these electromechanical machines, I always wanted to have a go. And that's the first one that I remember. I played several different type ones that were quite similar. A submarine based one, there were there were driving ones. There was that Shark Attack thing, and assorted shooting gallery type ones where you had a rifle and fired at, well, it wasn't exactly a screen, was it? But it was something. Yeah, so that was my first gaming experience, and it was a very good one. I loved it and been hooked on gaming ever since. He also asks, Malk asks, I should say, what is the worst game you've ever played? I can answer that very easily. It is called Maze Eater. It's on the VIC-20, and it's on one of those Cascade 50 compilation tapes. Now, these, the company that did them, they basically paid teenage boys a small fee for programming games for various different computers, and slapped them all together and put them on a tape and flogged them at commercial prices, and they're notoriously bloody awful. So Maze Eater, obviously the young teen lad, whoever he was trying to do Pac-Man, but it was almost certainly written in BASIC, and BASIC being slow, it was like, well, I described it at the time as a tactical maze game, because everything moved so slowly. It was like, ghost here, move 1, ghost here, move 1, ghost here, move 1, you're here, move 1, and everything, you know, it was like everything took turns to have a move, and you had time to think about which way you were going to go next based on where they were. Bloody appalling. It was rubbish. I have a video of it. It's in... have a look at my VIC-20 playlist. It's on there. No disrespect to the lad who programmed it, because it almost certainly was a lad, and it's more than I could do when I have ever tried programming. But as a commercial release, appalling, shocking. The company who did that should, well, they're probably not in business anymore, but they should have been ashamed of themselves. Yeah, Maze Eater, VIC-20. Okay, Mal asks another question. Where is it? Yes, when this is, a lot of people will probably have an opinion on this. When buying old computer hardware, does it matter to you personally if it's boxed or unboxed with the original packaging? Very good question. To me, no, it doesn't matter a bit, not even slightly. I am a collector, but... And I know there are lots of collectors, it's all about, it's got to be in mint condition, in the box, as new, everything with it, all the cables, all the paperwork, blah blah blah. Bollocks. No, I don't give a damn. As long as it works, that's all that matters to me. I would like it to be in fair condition. I try not to buy consoles or computers that are all scratched up and got keys missing and whatever, but as long as it's in reasonable condition, you don't look at it and go, that's a mess, that's good enough, because I collect them to play them. And you know, I've got lots of boxes, original packaging for a lot of the systems I've got, and all those boxes sit up in the loft. They're covered over with a quilt to try and keep any moisture away from them, but they will sit up there for years and not get looked at, because I don't collect for the boxes. I just want to play games. Yeah, so that's my answer to that one. I don't know how long I've been talking now. Whoops, but I've only got 5 minutes of battery life left. That's a bugger. Okay, I'm going to have to turn the camera around quickly. And I do have a shout out. And also, I'll see if I can fit that in a mo. Okay then, this week's shout out is RC Films 108, My Life with Sega. And the name there kind of says it all. And have you noticed this? What is going on here? YouTube, it just shows black until you hit play on the videos. I don't know why they're doing that, but it's stupid. Anyway, enough of that. My Life with Sega. It's all about Sega. Let's just click over to here. We can get a better view of what he's got. Sega consoles from the Master System through to, I believe he's going to do the Dreamcast. I don't know if he's got any Dreamcast on here yet. Yeah, basically he reviews them, plays the game. I don't know if he's added audio at the time or after the fact, but either way he's got a very clear, comprehensive way of covering the games. His style is familiar, I think is the way I would describe it. It's certainly scripted, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I would say he wears his influences on his sleeve somewhat, and that in itself is no bad thing. You can kind of tell where he's coming from, who he's been watching, and that might not necessarily be everyone's cup of tea, but I like it. I find these videos very entertaining, and I do like the games that he's reviewing as well. I won't say I'm a Sega fanboy, but if given the choice of Sega or Nintendo, I would watch stuff or play stuff that's Sega all the way. And there's stuff here that I'm not familiar with, which made it particularly interesting to me, like this Outlander. I've never heard of this game, and I watched the video and found it very interesting, and probably going to have to get that game. Yeah, he's good, he's entertaining, he's got a very, what's the word I'm looking for? He's got a specific style that you may recognise, and apparently my battery's running out. That's odd because I've got the charger plugged in. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going until the camera stops. So that is RC Films 108. Do check him out. I think he's good, well worth watching. What? Why am I not shown as subscribed? That's embarrassing. I do that quite often. This is one of those I had bookmarked but hadn't subscribed because my brain doesn't work or something stupid like that. Yes, there you go. RC Films 108, My Life with Sega. Turning the camera back round now. Okay, so closing comments. I am going to edit. So, closing comments. What have we got coming up? More of the same in high definition. Now, I'm gonna, I did that promo video, and I don't know how many people have actually done one, but I'm aware of one, and I'm going to stick it at the end of this video because why not? It's good, and I think a lot of you know the guy anyway. It's Crow 111. And it's a great promo, and I figure, hell, if people are going to do them, the whole idea was so that other people could tack them onto their videos to show people what these people are like. So those of you who aren't familiar with Crow, his promo is coming up in a minute. Check him out. His promo does the job well. You get to see what his channel's about, and he does it concisely and quickly, and it's what the promo thing was meant to be about. And it occurred to me because Atsuma Corinne made the point that doing these promos is only really useful if you're known to a certain degree anyway, so that other people will pick up on your promos and show them. And that's a very valid point. So what I'm going to say is, anyone who does a promo, regardless of what I think of their channel, because I'll explain. Yeah, anyone who does a promo, let me know, and I will either tack it onto the end of a video like this, or if a lot of people do them, I will do a video where I just show lots of them. The whole point being, get these channels known, get them some recognition. And what I will say is, if I'm showing someone else's promo, unlike a shout out, When I do a shout out, I am endorsing that channel. I'm saying I think this is a good channel. If I upload or add a promo, it's not for me to judge whether the channel is any good or not. It's like, here's their promo, you decide yourself whether they're any good. Yeah. But I'm only aware of this one so far. Crow's promo is a good one. I like his channel anyway, so no one needs my endorsement anyway. But you know what I mean. Anyone who does one, let me know, and I will either tack it onto something like this, or I will make specific videos. What's the word? Can't think of the word, but you know, I will put together videos with exclusively full of promos, if a lot of people do them, just to get those people the exposure, because it's bloody hard work getting noticed. Yeah, okay. Rambling. I'm still completely distracted because I can see myself, and it's still weird. Yeah, okay. Shutting up now. Thank you for watching. How do I turn it off? Oh, yes, and Stig, you were right. You can push the button with your thumb. I've been holding the thing completely wrong. Alright. Going now.
Hello everyone, Crow here, and welcome to my channel. On this channel you'll find a variety of videos about video games, like game reviews, which should be fairly self-explanatory, The Crow Show, which is a sometimes weekly video showcasing recent pickups, shoutouts, and whatever else I feel like talking about, and Crow Plays videos, which are basically multi-screen videos featuring my commentary as I fumble through a game. There are also some other videos I throw up on this channel, which I think others may find interesting. So if any of this interests you at all, remember that I'm Crow. The channel name is Crow111, that's CROOOW111, and I'll be right here if you need me. Thanks for watching.